evil lord of Deck Construct. He has the high-class ability of Deck Construct, and he is a rare genius in the history of Hearthstone. His appearance is gentle and elegant, but he is in fact superior in skill. 4 years ago, he became the repeat winner of 2014 Via Game House Cup and 2014 DreamHack Hearthstone Championship. After that, he gained the first and second place of various competitions by overcoming all the difficulties in the way. Most of all, he was the first champion of Hearthstone's China vs Europe Championship 2015. Kolento has always been the boss of Hearthstone. After 3 years, he once again fights for glory of champion on behalf of Europe.
I'm Kolento. I wish you luck if you get nothing.
Trunks' lineup, we can see that it is the Shudderwock Shaman, the Toggle Woggle Druid, whatever you want to call it, the Death Rattle Hunter, and the Even Warlock.
He keeps the Secret Keeper, but doesn't keep the secrets with it, probably because they're low value and not good against Shudderwock.
Yeah, Shudderwock doesn't really... Yeah, I think Shudderwock's actually fairly decent overall in this matchup. It doesn't really worry about the secrets too much because it doesn't have to necessarily proc them. It's not like, say, Zulok, where you kind of have to proc those secrets to end the game. If you're Shudderwock Shaman, you're kind of fine with just letting them sit there for the entirety of the game.
And who do you think is favored? Because I remember that you're a big fan of Shudderwock. Even going as far as changing your Twitter profile photo.
I'm a huge fan of Shudderwock. I would say that it's Shudderwock favored. I think that Shudderwock Shaman doesn't have to respect a lot of the secrets, and they have a very clean answer for the Spellstone when it comes down, that most of the decks, don't typically have an answer. I think one of the redeeming factors for this matchup is potentially Bear Shark, if that does get down early enough. But other than that, I think, Shudderwock Shaman does fairly strong. It has the healing to sustain. It has the AoE to remove some of the board states, and it just has some pretty strong early game plays as well, along with having that draw to refill. So I definitely like the Shudderwock Shaman in this matchup.
What I find hard in this situation is whether you want to attack or not. Because if you want to attack, whatever you attack, you get punished. Unless it's Freezing Trap, which it's not, because he wouldn't play it if it was. So I really like this Trunks play, just taking his time and just passing. You don't want to take a coin flip here. You go face, you get really punished by Wandering. You trade, you get really punished by Cobra or the Snakes. Here's the Huffer from last game.
Yeah, he does hit the Huffer from last game. But that's one of the cool things about the Shudderwock Shaman that I'd say that helps out a lot in this matchup is that you really don't have to proc the secrets if you don't want to. You can kind of just take your time, force them to maybe trade into your totems or something like that. We see Kolento going to be pretty aggressive there with the Huffer. Might as well. There's no real reason to kill off the totem. That's something that a lot of players may not necessarily understand is, well, why didn't he, trade in the totem? But he doesn't really need to. Lightning Storm's going to clear the board anyways.
Indeed. Shadow didn't take that much damage. And didn't spend more than 2 cards. Sitting pretty comfortable. I think it's mostly about, hitting the board removals, which he has, and then hitting one heal. If he does that, I think Shudderwock will take it. How does Hunter win? I think Hunter has to win quite soon, right?
I think so as well. And I'm looking at Kolento's list right now, and he actually doesn't have access to cards like Bear Shark. He's actually not running Bear Shark inside of his list. He went for the double flanking strike instead to, just be better against decks like Zulok. So, although flanking strike a powerful card in this particular matchup, it isn't necessarily the strongest.
How good is Hex?
I really like it. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Hex come out onto the Wolf. Definitely makes sense. You kind of want to, neutralize as much damage as possible. If you play something like the Mana Tide Totem, it just straight up dies onto the board. You have Volcano for a Spellstone if it does come down with 3 wolves. So I like the Hex a lot.
Kolento still has a pretty good turn, but does he want to commit into MC Tech? Probably not, right? So just go Crackling and Hero Power and not play the Dire Maul. Give it Wind Fury!
Typically Wind Fury is one of the best to get. Unfortunately, on the 0-1 Frog, it's probably the worst to get. As a matter of fact, I think these are 3 of the worst options you could have. Taunt, Wind Fury, Divine Shield. None of them do anything besides Divine Shield, and then even then you'd have to draw Houndmaster to even make it have
But
some utility.
If you draw Houndmaster, then it's better to take the Wind Fury.
That is true.
It would be fun if you could attack with 0 attack minions, just get attacks in, why not?
I mean, with cards like Super Collider, the 0 attack minions can technically attack.
Oh, so why doesn't it work with Wind Fury then? What if I want to just...
The world may never know, Radu. The world may never know.
There must be a
You just
reasoning.
want to swing twice the 0 attack minion. I guess that would make it a bit more interesting at spots where you want to like clear off your own board state, but you have 0 attack minions.
Oh, yeah. So actually, like, it would be a buff to 0 attack minions to be able to attack, because you could kill off your own board in spots where you don't want, let's say, totems. So I guess it was for balance reasons. Because otherwise Shaman would be broken, right? Like, sometimes you overextend and your opponent is like, yeah, cool, have all the totems, and then you could like kill off all your totems into 1 minion. Yeah.
It is true.
Like, Mana Tide abuse wouldn't be a thing. Now you can just let your opponent draw minion cards if you wanted to. Yeah. So I like the way Hearthstone is right now. Never mind.
Kolento is in a pretty bad spot, though. I don't think Kolento is liking where he's at in this game. He has a bit of pressure, but we can see that Trunks has access to that AoE, and there's also MC Tech if he doesn't even want to decide to AoE. And then after that, he's got the Healing Rain to follow up.
And if I calculate it correctly, even if Kolento goes Flanking Strike on the Mana Tide and then plays double Dire Maul, it's exactly 16, which Volcano clears. So this looks very bad. Like, you either play into Volcano, or you play into MC Tech, or you don't play enough pressure to finish off your opponent in a timely manner. So this looks pretty bad, yeah. But
yeah,
good players are seen in bad moments, right? Like, everybody can win with a bad hand. With a good hand. Only the best players can win with a bad hand. So what do you do here? What's the best play to maximize your win percentage?
I definitely think you want to fit in some hero powers. I think that's the start to Hunter's chance there. I mean, there were some very crazy plays you could try and go for to play around Volcano, but I think you go for this play, hope they don't have the Volcano, and worry about it from there. I think you really have to do that. If they have the Volcano, then you kind of accepting that you need to play off the top of your deck. Still has a bit of burn with that kill command in hand. Can commit maybe a Dire Maul with the hero power as well. So if Kolento is hoping that there is no Healing Rain, in theory he can still get there just off the hero powers alone.
Indeed. From Trump's perspective, you have to Volcano, right? There's no world where you MC Tech here.
There is some consideration, because if you go for the Volcano that turn, you don't quite have as strong an answer for something like, say, the Spellstone if it comes out. So we can see that Kolento's hand is all burns. This is going to potentially end poorly for him. But if there was something like Spellstone and Volcano had been committed and then 3 wolves come out, you don't quite have an answer to that. So I think that's what's on Trunks' mind right now. But the issue is Trunks is just playing minions onto his board. And if Kolento just ignores him, presses hero powers, and just starts going face, these kill commands can end the game pretty quickly.
Okay, I can see the point of going MC Tech to play on Spellstone, but why didn't he coin the Hex afterwards? I just think he's taking too much unnecessary damage.
I think so as well.
Like, okay,
And
sure, MC Tech was fine, but yeah.
Yeah. Kolento's 1 mana off of lethal right here.
Yeah, 1 mana, 2 damage. So you just, I don't know, commit Dire Mauls?
I think you force a healing rain out. So I think you just kind of commit everything. I don't see why not.
Face, right?
I guess you could
can
save
play, yeah, you can save one.
just in case. Ooh.
Wait. Now he doesn't have mana to do everything.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm a little curious as to why one of the kill commands wasn't committed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Kolento's trying to bait out a volcano, and if he baits out the volcano because Trunks feels like, oh, I can't die at this health, and he doesn't healing rain, he could then go Dire Maul double kill command if Trunks feels safe enough. But Trunks also has access to that coin and could just coin out the healing rain afterwards. So, I mean, maybe Kolento just feels like he doesn't need to commit it. It's definitely interesting to think about. Why do you think he held back on that, Radu?
Yeah, I think he held back because exactly what you said. He has 10 in hand. So he's not trying to maximize the damage by dealing 2 extra over the 2 turns. Huh, this is interesting. This is so much heal. It's like just full heal.
Trunks is really holding on to this volcano.
He's
really wants to make sure. Yeah.
By not
I guess he's worried about the secret.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give Kolento any more damage. Now he might kill command and go all face.
Ooh, that's a Rexxar.
I think you have to pick it, right?
I think so as well. Although the Handmaster does push quite a bit of damage, I don't think you can end the game this way. I don't think you quite have enough burn. Even if you fit 10 from the kill commands, I guess there's some consideration. If you fit in 10 from the kill commands, you can then, you put them to 20. You have, what? You have, like, 8 on board currently. So you put them to 12, you need to find 12 more damage. I think that's just quite too much to ask for.
Yeah. So you go for Rexxar and try to finish it with like a stealth zombist or something like that. And here kill the mana tide, right? And just push the rest. I would say.
I think so as well. Just go ahead and clear up that mana tide with the 1-3. Push the other 2 face. Could also, you know, potentially clear off one of the minions and then do this as well.
Okay. So he really wants to protect his board. Makes sense.
He could find something like a Timberwolf in order to buff his board in the following turn. Get some usage out of this Divine Shield Frog.
So I think he's going to trade first, see what happens, and then probably Hero Power Lightning Storm. He could also Zola, and then Electra Lightning Storm with a coin. But I'm not sure how that plays.
I feel like with that play, you overload yourself just a bit too much.
Yeah, you're kind of forcing it.
I would be opposed to just seeing the storm come out.
And now just Acolyte, I guess? Or see what happens? Yeah, you can Zola the Electron.
Yeah, I like Zola and Electra. I just don't think you needed to play that with the storm per se.
What zombies do you need here? A lot and good ones, right? Actually, one good stealth zombist, and then crackling it next turn for like Wind Fury, double kill command. Can that ever be enough?
There's potential.
Echo Rush.
I'm just curious to see what Kolento took for his first option.
Okay. So he took the big guy with Rush. Probably gonna play it and trade it.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised to see that. I want to make as big a beast as possible.
Yeah, this
to
minion
hopefully
is,
get it to connect.
this minion I think deals 6 damage to friendly minions on Balcry.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very good to play it as a standalone. Shard
Also demands respect.
demands respect.
Yeah, you gotta love when your card demands respect. Very few cards in Hearthstone that do that, but this one, it demands it.
Does this demand a volcano, Dr. J?
I don't know if it demands a volcano, but it definitely demands respect.
You can Acolyte coin volcano. 3 cards. I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's slow. You give your opponent
You're
initiative, but
You're selling me on it. I'm being sold on this already.
seems like Trunks is also sold on this.
Anytime you can get that volcano and the acolyte down, it is a very powerful turn.
Yeah, like you full clear the board and they draw 3 cards. This late in the game as Shudderwock Shaman seems pretty solid.
You still have Hex for follow-up as well if they do create another beast that is kind of pesky to deal with.
Bear Shark. That's the card. Actually, wait, wait, wait.
Oh,
Plus 3, plus 3.
Nightcrawler.
Is that better? It's better, right?
Is it better than something like Life Drinker or Bear Shark? I actually think, oddly enough, Bear Shark might slightly be better, but we can see that Hex is in the hand. And Kolento knows that 1 Hex has already been used.
Stealth.
Ooh. You're selling me on it.
If you took the 6/6, it's an 8/8. 8/8 plus Crackling Razor Maw
For Wind
is
Fury.
1 damage of lethal. How can you get that 1
Well,
extra damage? Because you don't have
if you
mana for bow.
Oh, you wouldn't have enough mana, you're right.
And we don't know what he picked. Wait, if he picked the bear, it's only 6 and he can play the Crackling now. Wait, no. This is only 6 too. Oh, he took something else. Never mind, never mind. He took something else. That's
He
weird.
took the Bloodfen Raptor.
Why?
Because he wanted the Bloodfed Raptor.
Yeah, but the stealth. One off. He could have two-turned it. Like, I don't know, next turn I keep bow and then just wait.
I do agree with that.
And now he also committed the Crackling, which is like super good. I don't know. I think he could have played it like differently. Because I don't think you beat Shadow by just playing 1 large minion. They have hexes, they have way too many ways of dealing with stuff. And yeah, they could have second Volcano, but then you can just like try to find another Zone Beast without committing the Crackling. Thunder Rhino is insane if he can get it with stealth. Because then he can like just OTK. I guess not OTK from 27, that's a bit too much to ask, but...
Could now pick the Emperor Cobra just to kind of clean up that Grumble, because he really needs to kill the Grumble here, because if he doesn't, Shudderwock comes down, and you get a guaranteed 1-mana Shudderwock on the follow-up, so does get fortunate enough to make that beast that's able to kill the Grumble.
No Saronite has been played as of now, though, but yeah. Still
Yeah,
having
but you
the
still
1-mana
would.
Shudderwock.
Exactly, yeah.
Electra Farsight? How good is that? I guess Electra Farsight allows you to Hex. Pretty good turn, I would say.
I think so as well. You've got healing, you've got a lot of tools. I really like this Electric Farsight. Might as well draw into the cards. You can't really play too many cards with it, because if you draw something like a Chain Gang, it'll cost 1 mana, so you won't have enough.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Do we play Pyromancer? I don't mind it. Full clears.
Yeah, I like trading the Glacial Shard into the Crackling Razor Maw, then Pyromancer and Hex. Because it does full clear and you get a board of your own, which is very important right now.
Exactly.
Looks like he's going to go for it.
So what does Kolento need here?
Something pretty strong off of this Build a Beast. Maybe something like you were saying with Stealth. These are not the strongest.
With Kill Height, he can play it twice, plus a secret. Huh. I don't know if he has time. Trunks might not go for Shudderwock next turn, but he'll definitely go in 2. He might even go next turn. But maybe he wants to make it like more safe. He has Zola and he has Grumble. He doesn't have Saronite. He doesn't have Life Dinker yet.
Yeah, I think if you're in a spot like this, you can kind of afford to take it slow and take your time just to try and maximize your chances. Especially having, there's also 2 shards in the pool, so you wouldn't have to worry if your opponent still had a board over top of it when you go for the Shudderwock, because you will have those 2 shards in the pool to try and stall out a little bit there.
Wait, that doesn't work. Oh, I thought he took the Echo Rush. Sorry.
I don't think he was. I don't think he received the option for Echo Rush.
Oh,
Because the Echo Rush is the second option.
No, I know. Never mind, sorry. I got a bit confused by a different language. So now you're just like double life dinker Cyanide?
Yeah, I like it. Might as well put some board tension.
But you give him
out
the rat
there.
trap.
Oh, I guess you could play around that since Trunks knows that's in the deck list. Could just go for double life drinker. Maybe even fit in a hero power.
Is it worth it to play around it?
It may be. I mean, there's no real reason to give your opponent, a free 6/6 if you. He doesn't need to put that much pressure onto the board. What do you think? You think you just want to kind of get that secret out of the way, or?
I think he's considering it. He knows it's rat trap because it cannot be anything else. Okay, he plays around it. Yeah, I think
I
it's
like playing around
fine.
it.
Yeah. Perfectly fine, I would say.
Bitter Tide Hydra.
Pretty risky. If your opponent has the second Volcano, might even die.
I think you're at the point now where you kind of have to take it, though. Hopefully get some kind of Stone Tusk Boar effect with it.
Stone Tusk Boar. Can you even win if you get that? I don't know.
I think you're still a bit off, but it's a step in the right direction. Kolento thinking long and hard on his picks here. It's not looking too good for him right now, but he still has a slim chance.
Oh, he picked Arthas.
He might be trying to go for the death grip.
He's really playing to his outs. I'm just wondering what Death Knight card could save him from this situation. Like the AoE maybe? Clears the board, you develop something, I don't know. Oh, these are the remaining cards, yeah.
Yep. Last 5 cards in the deck. Definitely needs to find that chain gang pretty quickly. Wants to increase the odds of, making sure that Shudderwock doesn't whiff. Although, the odds are still, I'd say pretty low, or what is it right now? There's 1 Zola, there's 1 Grumble, and there will be 2 chain gangs by the end of it.
Yeah. Can Kolento ever do any fatigue?
If the Shudderwock whiffs and this gives some kind of removal to the board, I do believe that is a possibility. There's also the fact that Kolento could get Death Grip off of this Arthas and then take the other Serenite to decrease the odds of the Shudderwock whiffing.
Do you ever kill command your Arthas after trading? Or is that too fancy?
To be honest, it's a bit ambitious, but Kolento may play to that. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I kind of like it, to be honest. I mean, Kolento took the Arthas for a reason. You really want to try and, take whatever percentage out you can. Because right now, Kolento is not just killing Trunks on board.
Yeah, so like his only way of winning realistically is fatigue. And you get to fatigue by, I don't know, maybe he can hope Shudderwock is in the bottom of Trunks' deck. But again, that's super ambitious. Like you have to hit the exact Death Knight card. He probably just goes for like the safe approach, yeah. Just Spellstone, bow, clear stuff, play for the board a little bit more. Oh, he doesn't want a bow? That was Huffer. Spoil.
How'd you know?
The arrow. You saw the arrow on the screen just targeting the taunt. Oh, Earthshock to counter the Arfus. Perfect.
Yeah, that was the one reason to try and, kill off your own Arfus in that turn. But they could still make another one with, charge or rush to try and kill it off.
Do you think it's too slow if he goes for Earthshock followed up by Volcano and then next turn is something and then only in 2 turns Shudderwock? Or do you just double trade, go Shudderwock and try to end it already? I mean, you can even go Earthshock Shudderwock. Kind of like Earthshock Shudderwock.
It's just, it's pretty risky. You really want to make sure that you put the other chain gang in the pool. Because if you whiff and your opponent has an answer, which most of the time they probably would, it's a very close call. I think you can afford to wait.
He's not even volcanoing. That's like the middle approach. Because by not volcanoing, he can shudder next turn. If he feels the situation is getting worse. Huh. So he knows the secrets too. He knows it's Rat Trap and some face-related secret. Ooh.
There you can see from Kolento's deck. Just a couple of secrets left. There's also Secret Keeper.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be surprised to see Tundra Rhino get picked here.
With this many secrets left, I don't think he wants to subject.
No. You draw more than half your deck at that point.
Yeah, and you wanna play for
Very
fatigue.
sketch.
Like, fatigue is on your side right now. You don't wanna do that. Huh.
Unless the Subject 9's physically ending the game with a Rhino swing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think the reason why he's hesitating on the Rhino is basically second Volcano. He might just go all face now, because he knows his opponent is gonna Volcano anyways.
I think so as well. I like this. Try and
Yeah.
end this game quickly. And if you force your opponent to Volcano here, it means that they don't have the mana next turn to play the Shudderwock if they need to, and Kolento could just make some kind of beast. I mean, maybe now's the time to go Shudderwock. Because if you commit to the Volcano, Kolento makes some kind of big beast, and then has the double kill command that we've seen him holding on to, you can lose the game on the spot right then and there.
But if you go Shudderwock now, you only have one Saga Knight in the pool, and you can miss Zola very easily. Like, Zola is basically a 50-50 because you're gonna trade the Woods first. So I don't know. Do you really want a 50-50 the Zola?
But if you... it's definitely a tough call, because if you go for the Volcano here...
Then you have no more
And-
answers for big beasts, right?
Exactly, and I guess you would have to commit to the healing rain, so you wouldn't necessarily die for a turn. I think maybe the Volcano is fine, because you do have the healing rain. I'm neglecting to mention that. I think that's a very important part of it.
I don't think he should hero power anymore.
I don't
And
think so either.
You only play one card to play around Rat Trap. And you hope you do a chain gang. So now Kolento needs to make a beast big enough to punish Trunks.
A big, beautiful
Fledgling.
beast.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, that's a boar.
Do you charge it? Or do you stealth it? I think you charge it.
I think you charge it. I think you need that damage, because if you get Wind Fury immediately, you put them to 22. Hopefully you get like plus attack or anything, really, and then you bow and you swing the bow in. You all put them down low enough that double kill command will kill them on the next turn.
He goes for it.
Oh, this is a beautiful birdie.
What was he tracking for? Does he still have the crackling in the deck? No, right?
He has 4 or 5 secrets, the Spellstone, Mossy Horror, and also a Secret Keeper that I remember.
Okay.
I think there might be something else. Wind Fury? Ooh, +3 attack though.
Yeah, pretty powerful. So if that connects with Wind Fury, it's lethal. Okay, Saronite blocks it. I think it's just like Saronite, Pyromancer. Maybe even Hero Power try to get taunt. I don't know.
You have to be careful with that hero power though, because if you hero power and get something that cannot be killed off, means that the Shudderwock could whiff on the Zola proc.
Doesn't play around Crushing Walls. Which is, by the way, not in Kolento's deck. You know what is in Kolento's deck though? Mossy Horror.
Ooh, now he played around Crushing Walls with the hero power. Mossy Horror is in the deck. I don't think Kolento would have enough for lethal quite.
It would be one off with Wind Fury.
Yes.
This game is close. If
It's
Shudderwock
very
whiffs,
close.
if Shudderwock whiffs, Kolento might be able to take it. Okay. So he has an Eagle Horn bow for damage and the Mossy Horror for dealing with Saronites and stuff.
And the scariest thing is actually that if Shudderwock whiffs, both of them get answered. Like you said, Trunks doesn't have anything. The last card's Hagatha. And with no minion, Hagatha is just AoE that doesn't really do you anything.
So he's all in on Shudderwock working. But it's a pretty high likelihood of Shudderwock working, to be honest.
Do you know the numbers off the top of your head?
So 66 on Grumble and 50 on Zola.
Okay.
So that's
I'm
like,
just going to say it's 50-50 because it either happens or it doesn't.
it's more than 50-50, Mr. Amaz.
Alright, I think you trade off the...
Pyro.
Ooh, do you trade off the Pyro?
You do, right? Because you want
I
high
think you
chance
have
of Zola.
to. Yes.
Wait. Do you trade it? Because you get higher chance on Zola, but if you give him Snake Traps, then you might miss the shards.
On the shards.
Yeah. So if you hit 2 Shudderwocks, you probably win anyways, because you have too many freezes. So you have 66% to kind of win anyways. And then if you Zola, which is either 33... Actually, no, it's different chance on Zola, because it depends on like how the Sironites land. My head hurts. But it's definitely more than 50.
Well, we're gonna find out. Shards up first. Ooh, Grumble.
He needs Saronite before Zola.
He's
Okay,
missing.
he
He
needs
gets
to,
another 9-mana one.
Yeah. And another shard misses.
There's only 2 shards, I believe, in the pool.
Well,
Wow.
Kolento is on Wind Fury lethal. Wind Fury lethal for Kolento.
Is there any beast he can make to...
Crackling.
What if he makes Timberwolf plus Boar?
Timberwolf plus Boar would be 8, 10, not enough.
It would be 2 off.
So he needs either Crackling...
Ironbeak Owl plus something.
Ironbeak Owl...
Because it silences the... Oh! Ironbeak Owl silences it!
Okay, so
It
Ironbeak Owl
silences
is how much?
It would add an additional 7 damage. If it gets charged, it would be exact lethal.
Without charge, I don't think he has the mana to do everything. It's 1 mana... no, it's 2 mana off. I think he has to get Wind Fury. Yeah.
Is there ever a world where he could... Wait, how much fatigue is Trunks taking? I didn't even think about
1.
that. Taking 1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
this
it's
is...
15, 20, 21. It's 1 damage of lethal with Ironbeak Owl. So he
Alright,
needs the
what
Wind
is
Fury. And this is not Wind Fury.
Ooh.
1 damage of lethal for Kolento. Wow. What? How are these games so close?
This is insane.
I don't think it's over yet, by the way. This is not over. Or is it?
Has to trade and do that so he doesn't take the damage.
Can Shard freeze stealthed minions?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
I really don't know. It shouldn't, right?
I don't think it can, because you can't technically target it. So Shudderwock should not be able to target it.
Wait, why didn't he attack face with Shudderwocks?
Because of a Snake Trap, it decreases the odds of the shard hitting.
Couldn't
And
one
this
of
might,
them connect?
this is just lethal, isn't it?
Is it?
Because how
It's
many
only two. It's only two life drinkers, right?
Okay.
It shouldn't be lethal, I think.
If it's only 2 life drinkers, I don't believe it is lethal.
Well, apparently the shark cannot hit stealth. So Ken Kolento did 26. Not even Wind Fury is lethal, so he needs Crackling Razor Maw plus the Wisp to be able to play everything.
This is crazy.
Crackling Wisp into either attack or +1/+1. Okay, it's over. I'm trying to like think back to the last turn. Couldn't Trunks like attack and connect one minion and then have lethal? I'm not sure.
Wait, isn't Wind Fury lethal? No.
No, it's too off. Yeah, this was a
No,
crazy
because
game.
he takes 2 fatigue. He takes 2 fatigue.
Oh, he
so
takes
Wind
2
Fury would've been
fatigue.
lethal.
Oh, I forgot about fatigue. Oh, I'm so bad. Chat is probably like... Ah. Well,
Oh,
chat is
what?
definitely
Those.
making fun of me now. Thank you for pointing it out, Dr. J.
It's my job.
Wow, so Kolento had 2 turns when if he got Wind Fury, it would have been lethal.
Yeah,
game
there
was
was
too close.
there was a couple attacks where Wind Fury would have just ended the game. There was the first initial charge. There was the one after that where it stuck on the board, and then there was that one right there. There was at least 3 attacks that I can remember. But Trunks hanging on a nice edge there, gets that win with the Shudderwock Shaman with what looked to be a smooth sailing game for him at first.
Yeah, what do you think, as a Shudderwock enthusiast, do you think he should have went for it faster? Do you think he took too much time until he went for the Shudderwock? Because like sometimes I think you're throwing percentages by being so slow and not just committing to the percentages of Zola and Grumble.
I think that was a very tough call. I think there was some merit to going for it a turn earlier than the Volcano, but I could see it going both ways. Since you did have Healing Rain, you weren't exactly worried about some kind of reach with double kill command, and Kolento also has to make an insanely powerful beast with either the Vicious Fledgling Boar or something like Bitter Tide Hydra Boar. And the odds of that are very, very slim. And even after that, you still can win the game with the Chain Gang potential. So I don't blame Trunks for the the line where he took it a bit slower. Just hard to say.
I wonder how even Shaman and Paladin are now against the Shudderwock, but the Shudderwock is out of the way for Trunks, so I guess we won't be able to see that.
Yeah, I think Shudderwock is pretty strong against Even Shaman overall, because Even Shaman's much slower, and cards like Storm and Volcano are more impactful against a deck like Even Shaman, whereas they're less impactful against something like Zulok, where you can just keep life tapping to regenerate your resources. What I'm going to be interested to see is Trunks has access to this Even Warlock, and Even Warlock is notoriously strong against Even Shaman and the Odd Paladin. I'd say Odd Paladin's a closer matchup, but against Even Shaman, I'd say that Even Warlock is fairly strong overall. Cards like Defile and Hellfire just kind of shut this deck out.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't you think that Hagata, Lich King, and some other expensive high-pressure cards can get you like, I don't know, a chance? I don't think it's like over for like...
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that's partly the reason why Even Shaman was probably brought by Kolento, as he felt as if it was a very, just all-around strong deck. That's why a lot of players like Even Warlock as well. It's just one of those decks that it does what it does very consistently. Even Warlock is life tapping into playing an 8/8. Kolento's Even Shaman is playing small, mediocre minions and snowballing out of control.
Well, that Hellfire is a pretty nice pickup from Trunks. And I think on 2 you tap, right? Like the way you want to play Even Luck is tap on 1, tap on 2, and then tap on 3 plus 2 drop on trying to set up the giant on turn 4.
Yeah, I think so as well. I almost wouldn't be surprised to see maybe potentially no 2-drop come down on the following turn after this life tap, because there is the Hellfire, and if Hellfire is going to be committed either way, it kind of makes sense to not really commit the minions to dying, but Trunks may feel as if it's necessary to try and soak up some of this damage with the Vulgar Homunculus first so that he doesn't, take too much.
Do you think the Shaman can ever kill the Warlock, like, quickly? It seems weird, but there is a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage coming from the other side, especially with that Direwolf Alpha. Could place that in between, really pushing some damage. Kolento's going to be wary of the Hellfire. I definitely think that's a possibility from Shaman's side, though, is sometimes, Shaman has that very explosive start where it just snowballs out of control with a Flame Tongue Totem and it pushes that damage, and if Trunks weren't to have any kind of removal, it could just be game over from then.
Yeah, I wonder what 2-drop is the best to commit here. Or do you just like is there a situation where you just don't play a 2-drop and you go trade on the left and try to maximize the use of Flame Tongue? I guess it's like the best one to use.
Possibility.
Like,
I'm a bit curious as... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was saying that you wanna use a 2-drop that like puts you in a spot where if your opponent Hellfires, you still have some follow-up. Pretty much. Huh.
Fair point. It looks like Kolento actually not hero powering there and not committing the Direwolf Alpha or any of those to really play around Defile. Mm-hmm. He loses to, like, not necessarily loses, but Hellfire is a very large setback no matter what. So by not hero powering, he doesn't give him the chance of, Trunks only having Defile, and beating him that way would force Trunks to have either the Hellfire or something like Acidic Swamp Ooze plus Defile.
Indeed. And now I think Kolento managed to deal 21, but the last 9 points of damage seem pretty difficult to get there. Maybe...
Yes.
Maybe if Trunks didn't have the Hooked River, Kolento could have just put him low and then tried to cheese it out with Fire Elemental. But now it seems like really, really troublesome. Maybe he needs like second Flame Tongue to get there. Does second Flame Tongue even get there? I don't know.
I'm trying to think as well. If he does get second Flame Tongue, he would be able to push through... Would he be able to push through any damage? He could,
Wow.
Oh, life tapping very aggressively. That's a bit dangerous there.
Yeah, I don't know. Looked... I don't know. That one was sketchy, I think.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that life tap, because let's say something like Fire Plume Phoenix comes down, you could potentially just keep pushing in chip damage after chip damage, especially not having that much heal besides the Shroom Brewer.
Well, this is a clear. Not the best one, but it's a clear.
I do like it. Commit the minions. Mm-hmm. Clear the board. You have a board. Kind of force them to do something. Since Kolento did roll that totem that is not the Searing Totem, Defile does not do much. It would have to be a Hellfire. If Hellfire comes down, then Fire Elemental almost ends the game right then and there.
My question is if Kolento plays Spellbreaker or not. Because if he doesn't, Twilight Drake and some Fury should be able to hold the board.
He does not play Spellbreaker. There is no Spellbreaker, but there is Hex.
Oh, there is Hex.
Hex is a pseudo version of Spellbreaker.
Hex is lethal here. I'm not a good caster. A good caster would be able to jinx it.
I mean, it's still looking fairly decent. Could get that Giant on board, and Giant's gonna be very hard for Trunks to deal with.
Yeah, he can play Primal Fiend and Hero Power and Giant. Do you wanna go that wide, or is it just like Hero Power Giant?
I like playing the Primal Fin as well. You really need to get through this minion. Could be wrong on that, but I definitely think no matter what, you're getting this Giant down. The question is, how much more are you committing onto the board?
It's a pretty hard and important turn, because if the Giant connects to face, you win. So you have to make sure that you're covering all your grounds. And I'm not sure how much you care about Defile, but you play into it no matter what you do.
I think so as well.
Actually, if you just Giant now, he doesn't have a 1 health minion to start off the Defile chain. Huh. Yeah, maybe you just Giant. Yeah. There's no way
Yeah,
to
Kolento was
make
playing
one.
around the Defile earlier.
I think this is fine. This is fine. Actually, wait. He can start a Defile. He can go Drake into the Direwolf and then go some Fury into the second Direwolf. But then you don't deal with the Giant. Huh, this is actually a tough spot for Trunks.
Yeah, this is a bit of a difficult decision here.
Oh, wait, whoa. Drake into Giant, it's making a 1. Bam. Defile full clear.
Then you're pretty weak to Argent Commander. But you do get to Shroom Brewer back up for a little bit of life.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think that might potentially be the play. Trunks was life tapping very aggressively previously. I don't know if he's going to do that again.
Does he see a better way of doing it? This cannot be better.
Maybe he just doesn't want to Defile. Maybe he just wants to hold that for another board state. He could just go Shroom Brewer his face and then play another Sun Fury Protector.
Okay. I was just scared of the Giant, but like, realistically there's nothing that Kolento can do to connect it to the face. But the Giant still staying on the board, especially with the healing totem, is just a bit scary to me.
Yeah, this Giant is posing a lot of problems for Trunks right now, as he doesn't quite have the best way of answering it. We'll be able to Bone Marrow a minion to try and answer it maybe on the following turn. But Kolento, you know, he's got the initiative right now. He can just kind of try and take this board state back best he can.
No,
Alright, where's the
Hellfire
juggle?
is pretty good too. You can just trade the Sun Fury in and Hellfire.
Oh, he has that spell stone.
Do you need it though?
Well, you will need it for later. You don't need it for this turn, but has that extra life gain if he wants to, you know, try and stabilize in this game. I think it's an important draw. Could just go for the Hellfire, push a little bit of damage.
I actually think Defile and the Great Infernal is like better.
Ooh, that is a good spot as well.
Yeah, it just seems better. Like, you put a bigger board. Yeah, I like it a lot. And you buff your Spellstone, actually. Yeah. Like, I was thinking that play was really good even without buffing your Spellstone. With buffing the Spellstone, this has to be the play. I really like this from Trunks. Well, Kolento can Fire Elemental face and hope he draws, what's the name? Kalimos? Out of the buff.
Yeah, I could also find something like another Fire Elemental.
Good. I mean,
But Trunks has access to Spellbreaker,
and,
yeah.
Spellbreaker Spellstone is sick here. And doesn't set up lethal, but sets up the Gul'dan, so... Oh, actually, never mind. Bone Marrow is lethal. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Just gonna go ahead and set up lethal. Could potentially trade the Fire Elemental into the... Put the Fire Elemental into the Spellbreaker, but almost wouldn't be surprised to see Corpse Widow and Fire Plume Phoenix come out. Maybe just be as aggressive as possible, go as wide, maybe try and connect that 3 damage from the Fire Plume Phoenix to the face.
And then with Fire Elemental, you get 3 more. And maybe like
You
a
could put
Flame
it on
top
to
deck? I don't
the...
know.
Yeah, it's it's not looking the strongest right now for Kolento. I think Kolento's kind of lost this game, but I would like to see him go wide here just in case. I mean, maybe there's even like another Earthen Might that gets picked up into
another fire elemental.
into a menacing Nimbus that gives the Nimbus a Calamus. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some slim outs here.
Yeah, he goes for it.
But even so, this Gul'dan kind of just seals the deal.
Yes. Wait.
Is Spellbreaker lethal? No, it's not.
It's
It's
one
one damage off.
Yeah.
So, I don't think there's any real reason to mess around. Could just go ahead and play Gul'dan.
And I don't think there's any way to die, right? If you Gul'dan.
I don't believe so, especially you know it's a random elemental, and the worst case scenario I believe is either Alakir or Calamos, both of them dealing the same amount of damage.
I like here Flame Tongue, but I think he gets one taunt back if I'm not mistaken. Or
He does get a 2/4 back. One of the Vulgar Homunculus had died earlier, so he will get that.
yeah,
And he would live through that.
he would
So I
live
think that's
for
the
that.
play.
Yeah, he would live on 3 health. Yeah, he just don't die to anything. I think he's thinking between Bone Mare and like Homunculus, but I think that's overly fancy. Just Gul'dan and probably you win.
You also get the Hooked Reaver back as well.
Yeah, as a bonus. Well, you have to Fire Elemental the minion that you don't kill in order to play both Fire Elemental and Giant. So I guess the play is like you Fire Elemental the 2/4, Hero Power Giant trade in, but then how do you win? Your opponent just is gonna clear the board and then you probably have like no way to get out of there.
Yeah, I think this is about locked up for Kolento. I guess he could potentially draw into Hagatha. Then Hagatha, you could then draw into another minion and then go from there. That's the only thing I'm really seeing right now, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think this is probably wrapped up for Trunks at this point. I mean, I think Kolento was expecting to lose this one. This is one, not the strongest of matchups for him. This one's actually one of the weakest ones in the lineup.
And now that I look at it, none of Kolento's decks are that good against either the Evenlock or the Shudderwock from Trunks. So I think Kolento is just trying to prey onto the Hunter to be able to take the victory. And Trunks'
Yeah, I think he
Hunter
has
is Death Rattle, right?
Yes, it is the Death Rattle Hunter. I
Okay.
think, like you're saying, it's exactly right. I think he kind of has to rely on that.
Smork.
Base is the place. That's what I was taught in school.
Really?
Yeah,
From such a young age they teach you these kind of things.
they really do. I was better off for it. Calamus coming in a bit too late. Could go for... I guess it has to be heal 12. Nothing else for to keep him alive there.
Yeah, I think Kolento is hoping for Hagata. That's like one way I could see him still being in the game, but is that really?
Are you really still in the game if you have to Hagatha for 5 armor and you kill your own board, not his?
Giant ping and just ignore what's happening? I don't know.
Just ignore everything that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you wanna do?
That's fair. You could go... Hellfire doesn't do lethal at all. It's not enough damage. Close. You're getting very close.
I don't think you want to go for the Hellfire Spellstone line, because if you do that, then Hagata clears your board. You only do it if you have lethal through Hagata, which would be impossible, because it gets 5 armor, and you only deal 3 damage with your hero power from the empty board.
Yeah, I don't think you need to commit to anything like that. You could go for Vulgar Homunculus, and then Spellstone shoot the Calamos with your hero power. That's another potential line of play, but I don't mind this either. I think this is pretty strong as well.
Ooh, and
Why
going
not?
face.
I like it.
Yeah, as long as you don't die to Alakir Flame Tongue, this is fine. And that's game.
Colento's probably going to see if he rolls the Tonto. Nope, that is game. There's nothing that Kolento can do. Trunks is going to go up to a 2-0 lead. Will this be the first Chinese player to make it through on the winner's side of their group?
We don't know. We'll see. I mean, a lot of Europeans have been 0-2 down and managed to do the reverse sweep. I think Kolento's highest chance of winning is against Trunks' Hunter. As we said earlier, like, I don't know, how can Paladin lose that match? How can even Shaman lose that match? It's mostly gonna come down to the Hunter mirror match, in my opinion. But again, I also repeated this the other series. If you have, I don't know, 30% matchups, but you have 3 of them, you're still favored to win the series. Because you have 30% to win game 1, and then you have 30 out of the remaining 70, and then 30 out of the remaining whatever, which puts you above 50%. So, Trunks is still favored to win, even though he has bad matchups remaining. But anything can happen, and if Kolento plays to his outs, I think he has a good shot to take it too.
Yeah, all it takes is winning one of those unfavorables, and you're good to go. I don't even necessarily think that the other Hunter deck is an unfavorable. I think it's actually a fairly decent matchup for the Death Rattle Hunter overall. But, I mean, we're going to see shortly enough, and if any card can stop the aggressive lineup from Kolento, it is Witchwood Grizzly. Now, you get a Witchwood Grizzly down, you Carnivorous Cubit, and you play dead, and that game is over.
We shall see. I think they're going to go into the game right about now.
Here, Kolento, what do you think you queue up here? I know it doesn't matter, of course, too much, but what do you think Kolento's going to queue? Do you think he's going to stick on that Shaman and try and get that win, or do you think he's going to try and switch it up? Maybe get some momentum going?
I think he's going to go Paladin for momentum. Actually, Kolento is the type of guy who goes worst matchup first, so he's not going to go Paladin.
Think he's going to go Hunter?
I don't know what's the worst matchup, but he's going to go for the worst matchup. Probably Hunter.
I think Hunter would be the worst matchup. I'm not quite sure on that Shaman matchup. He does have 1 Hex in the list, which is going to help him out quite a bit during the series, because if he can Hex something like, say, just a cube minion, and just realize this is Death Rattle Hunter. I completely did not look to see if it had a charged Devilsaur in it. That's kind of catching me off guard a little bit, but it indeed does. 1 charged Devilsaur.
So it's a
What do you think about that?
I haven't played much Death Rattle Hunter, but it's, I think, better against Druids to play with Devilsaur. So does it not have Grizzlies, or what's the differences?
It still has the Grizzlies. It basically cuts that Savannah Highmane slot, the one of Savannah Highmane, for this charged Devilsaur.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's mostly just because, if you get charged Devilsaur online, you can get it onto the board, and you can maybe Carnivorous Cubit. It's a whole lot more pressure than, say, a Highmane. And also, Highmane's very slow against a lot of matchups, whereas charged Devilsaur, you can kind of trade it in and kind of take some value trades, or you can just ultimately end games with just the charges.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think there's a lot of people that are taking for Savannah. So, against those people, Devilsaur should be better. What a hand, by the way, from Trunks. Pretty slow.
Yeah, it's a really slow one, but like I said, Witchwood Grizzly, now that's a powerful card.
But how can you get it to stick? Like, you
By
play
playing
it...
it.
You play it, it dies, right?
I mean, you're probably right, but there's still a chance. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, he's going for the coin flanking into flanking. Really trying to get that board going. Here, the best road would be KLSF. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you see, you're getting better at that. The caster
better.
curse.
Yeah, getting better. Is it a curse or is it a blessing?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I think for Kolento it's a curse. For Trunks it's a blessing.
I still don't think that's enough for Trunks. I just made the game more spicy.
Well, that's what we want to see, is a spicy game.
Indeed. I still feel like Shaman is like heavily favored in this position. Like Corpse Taker, 2 eels, or I think that's how the card is called, right?
Mudspurk Eel.
Yeah. I mostly
Yeah,
memorize
Mudspurk Eels are strong.
I mostly memorize the cards by their pictures, and now I don't get to read their names, so it's like way harder to cast than normally.
I memorize all the cards by their sounds.
Oh really? So what does this say?
I don't know.
Ah, okay.
it says kill a Prince Kaliseth.
Exactly. Blizzard should get you to voice some cards from the next expansions.
I would love for them. I would love for them to give you a card to voice.
Me.
It's just the most fast talking card ever. Alright, I think Coin Flanking Strike's the play. The question is, what do you think Trunks is going to go ahead and put that on to?
2-3?
He's going to put it on. I think so as well. I think the 2-3, it makes the most sense because all the 1/1s would have to trade into it, and then it can follow up with the next Flanking Strike.
Yeah, I think you're
Just
hoping that
though.
yeah, you're hoping that there's no buff anyways, because if there's any buff, you're gonna bad spot regardless. So I don't know how much you solve by hitting the 0-3. Wow, Trunks is taking the slow approach. Maybe he thinks that the only way he wins this is going Grizzly Coin Cube. But then he can get it hexed, so I don't know. Is there Umbra in that Hunter deck? Probably not. I was playing Umbra in that Hunter deck. Maybe that's why I don't like it.
Let me check. It is not in the Hunter deck. I think most lists do not have Umbra. It's a bit too slow. It's a very powerful card. Maybe Trunks was more prepared for this scenario, where Corpse Taker is the 3 is the 4-drop here, and he can just go ahead and Flanking Strike that.
Yeah, Candle Shot seems like a very, very powerful card in this matchup. I like it. Huh.
Oh, Direwolf Alpha. It's just giving more and more buffs to Kolento.
Do you go double Direwolf? Actually, there's no space on board, never mind.
Yeah, there's no space for that, and you'd have to, if you wanted to make space, you're gonna have to trade a little bit awkwardly.
So just Eel.
Could go for Eel and then Direwolf afterwards. Just push some damage. Kolento's gonna be very wary of Coin Deathstalker Rexxar, though. He's got to be a bit conscious of that. Doesn't want to extend too hard into that play right there.
But you still want your opponent to play the Rexxar if they have it. So you want to make a play where you force them to play Rexxar, but you're not completely out of resources if they do. So I like something like Direwolf. Something like, if you have Rexxar, play it. If you don't, I will know that next turn and abuse it. Is this good enough to force out the Rexxar? Maybe.
I think it might be. Another 1/1 comes out of it. And there we see there's actually Mossy Horror as well as another decent draw. You actually see Kolento places it in a way that the Mudspurk Eel gets buffed up so that if it were to be Mossy Horror, he would at least have some kind of pressure afterwards.
Mm-hmm. I think Mossy is better than Rexxar here, to be honest.
I think so as well. You get that extra body to contest. And it does clear up the Primal Fin Totem as well.
So, how big is the Grizzly? It's like 8?
It is a 3/8 right now, but it's chopped down pretty quickly.
It's quite weak against the Direwolf Alpha. Not sure if you wanna go Grizzly here. But if you don't Grizzly, what do you wanna do?
Could go for Ziliax. I mean, you do gain a bit of life afterwards. Especially if you expect your opponent to trade in at least 1 minion afterwards. That could be a potential line of play, but I mean, you do have 2 Grizzlies. Almost don't mind playing one, maybe forcing your opponent to kind of trade almost everything inside. And then just going for Grizzly number 2.
It just matters how much you care about the Direwolf Alpha.
Yeah, that Direwolf Alpha is pretty pesky right now. Could go for Flanking Strike.
The thing with flanking strike is that I think it's really, really good with Houndmaster Shaw. So you kind of want to wait until turn 7 and coin those out together.
Yeah, that's true.
Until turn 7, sorry, yeah. But I'm not sure if you have the time. Like, we see Kolento's gonna put a lot of pressure now. There's so many ways of doing it.
Yeah, there are definitely a plethora of ways to kind of get through this Grizzly. Grizzly's going to die no matter what. It's just how does Kolento want to navigate this?
Just Argent Commander, I guess.
You do have to be careful, though, because if you play Argent Commander, I think you want to keep the Divine Shield bubble around just to try and help play around the Deathstalker Rexxar quite a bit. You also have to keep in mind that Mossy Horror is still in there.
Then it's just better to play Fire Elemental. Like, I was thinking of Commander and trade the bubble, but you're right. Yeah, this play is like solid against everything pretty much.
I do like this one. It also, you know, getting the Fire Elemental down is pretty important because obviously the Fire Elemental does not have that charge that the Argent Commander does.
Oh, do you see the line?
Ooh, I'm liking it.
I see a juicy line. Houndmaster Shaw, face tank,
Houndmaster Shaw,
the Warlock.
Then go ahead and coin out that Spider Bomb.
Ooh.
You can trade it into the 3/3.
Yeah, you have to. It was so much better if you could trade it into the Direwolf. But now you're forcing yourself to trade it into the 3/3 because it got buffed by KLSF.
I don't think it's that bad because you kill off the 3/3.
Yeah, but you'd rather kill off the Direwolf, but yeah.
That's fair.
You still have to go for it, I think.
I think so as well. I think it's a very strong play. I think all the other plays are just too slow.
Also, Houndmaster Shaw is 4/7.
It's pretty big, Houndmaster Shaw. I mean, it kind of demands some respect there.
If he goes for that play, actually, Kolento can have lethal.
It looks like he's just going to go for the Grizzly. He wants to wait one more turn on it.
Well. So how much is Commander? It's not lethal, but it's close. I think you go Commander.
Yeah, I like getting Commander down. It does, you know, present such a large-scale threat. Gets rid of the most, you know, mana play from the hand. Typically, you want to be playing as much, you know, just be mana efficient as possible. So it'd either be just the Argent Commander or the 3/2 drops. I think Argent Commander's pretty strong here. Could trade off the 3/3 along with the Argent Commander. Kolento chooses to do so. Might be another, you know, better way to sequence this as well.
I think Trunks is too low. Even if he does Rexxar, it's probably too late. I wonder what Trunks was hoping for.
Yeah, I'm a little curious on that as well, because now he doesn't quite have that strong of an answer. I mean, it looks like Trunks is going to have to be hoping for going Spider Bomb and then giving it the magnetic ability. Either way, you know, just kind of semantics. They both work the same way. Gains up quite a bit of life. There needs to be like a hex here, because if not, you know, Kolento is giving Trunks a lot of life. Is this just lethal though?
Doing it? Like,
if you put the shield if you put the Alakir shield in, you don't. They don't gain life. You then trade in the 5/2. You give them 6 life. Your Alakir goes up to 5 attack. I believe that's a one-off lethal.
so it's 5, 7, 9, 15. Yeah, it's one off if they hit an irrelevant minion. I think that's the play still. Or you can proc it with the eel, and you also don't give them health. But I like Warlock here because it's a bigger minion.
Could also go for Mud Spurk onto it, put the 5/2 in. Then after doing so, push a little bit of damage and play the Sea Giant. I think getting the Sea Giant down if you cannot get that lethal. Oh, I completely forgot there's also that that effect of the Spider Bomb, being able to clear it up. So those would have been risky plays to try and go for some kind of a lethal, even if it was, you know, presented there, which it was one-off.
Yeah, this is nothing Trunks can do. I think at this spot you just like think what you want to do in the next game. And the question is if Kolento is going to kill the Paladin and try to just get the easy victory out and make it a 2-2 and go into game 5, or if he's going to try to play the Hunter now in the beginning.
That is a good question. I definitely think there were some things that Trunks could have done a little bit differently there. I think Trunks maybe should have considered that one turn we were discussing where, you know, you get the Houndmaster Shaw down on the board and you coin out the Spider Bomb and take that very strong play of clearing up the majority of the board. Would have prevented a potential Sea Giant in the future, on top of would have made Houndmaster Shaw a must-answer from Trunks, from Kolento's side. So I think that was definitely a turn to look back on.
It was a very optimistic approach to try to go for the Houndmaster Shaw bomb and then try to kill the Fire Elemental, but I think if there was a way Trunks could have won this game, I'm not sure if Kolento could have dealt with the Shaw, but Trunks should have probably gone for that and hope it sticks. And if it did, maybe he had a shot, but anyways, Kolento managed to win that, and we're gonna go into game number 4 very quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. You know, we're either going to see this Subject 9 Hunter or the Odd Paladin. See, Odd Paladin's probably slightly favored against the Hunter, if not more favored. Definitely more favored than the Subject 9 Hunter. But Odd Paladin, it hasn't been a deck that we've seen too much in, you know, competitive play recently. It's kind of fallen off the ladder because it isn't as strong as it used to be, and there's a lot of matchups where it just does fairly poorly, especially against decks like Odd Warrior, especially against decks like Token Druid, and all the Druids in general. So it's interesting to see that Kolento has decided to bring it to this tournament.
Kolento was saying that he actually likes it on ladder. He says the recipe for success with Old Paladin is to just not play new cards, not even Giggling Inventor.
Oh wow, so just have, you know, just the old school list, no, you know, new tech inclusions.
Yeah.
I mean, Odd Paladin's another one of those consistent decks. It does what it does very consistently. It's pretty strong at what it does. It's a very similar deck to even Warlock and even Shaman, is you know what the deck is going to do almost every time you queue it up.
He goes for it. He goes for the better matchup. And we see now, like, Stormy Champion, Kolento is going for the classic cards.
Taking it old school. Almost wouldn't be surprised to see the level up, Lost in the Jungle, and one drop all kept here. And just throw back the Stormwind Champion. And then from Trunks' side, I really like the Candle Shot, and the other two I'm not quite sure on, maybe.
How do you think this matchup is, Dr. J? Do you think like Hunter is having that many chances? Because I don't know, like I'm trying to figure out ways that Hunter does things, but it's pretty much only like having Candle Shot on 1 and then having Rexxar on 6 and maybe like having a big Grizzly that they cannot go through. But other than that, it really doesn't seem good enough.
I think the Grizzly is very important. I also think that these Hunter lists have been starting to play Mossy Horror. I think that's a very powerful inclusion because it does give them just another answer to these board states. I'm looking at the Hunter list right now. It does have tools like Ziliax that, you know, just kind of stall for a little bit. There is a Tark Reaper, so I definitely think the Hunter deck has a lot of game, although it may not be necessarily favored in this matchup. It just kind of depends on how the draws pan out, and we can see Kolento does have a couple of awkward cards.
at the same time, there's no Unleash the Hounds. So, Hero Power
Yeah.
1, 2, Hero Power not level up, sorry. What's the name of the card? I don't know.
You're talking about from the Hunter side?
No, from the Paladin. The third card in Kolento Sand. I forgot the name of that card.
Lost in the Jungle.
Lost in the Jungle, perfect. So I was saying Kolento can go Hero Power on 2, Lost in the Jungle, plus Hero Power on 3, and then coin level up, and that's pretty strong. But yeah. Hunter can do things with Houndmaster Shaw, right? It's a pretty good card.
Yeah, Houndmaster Shaw is an absurd card right now for what it provides. You can Carnivorous Cube it and then potentially play dead it or Terrascale Stalk it in the future turns. And then afterwards, you know, you can just go ahead and keep taking value trades. I think Houndmaster Shaw is really good. I wouldn't be surprised to see Trunks just not swing with the weapon because you know Kolento is going to take 2 trades anyways. So if you don't swing with the weapon, you kind of save a charge here because there's no way Kolento lets this minion really stick around or it's going to get value trades on what Trunks decides to.
Are you sure? Like, I think if Trunks doesn't attack, Kolento just goes full face and ignores it. Why would he?
I
expect
do
it?
think that's a possibility. I guess it's I guess you kind of force the answer here as well. Maybe you do take that hit for that reason. Because I don't think he ignores it. Do you think he ignores it now still?
There is a possibility, like, you give yourself... So basically, now you straight up trade two 1/1s. In the future, you're gonna get one of them traded, but the other one becomes a 3/3. And the 3/3 survives as a 3/1, but one of your 3/3s dies. So it's better to take the trade yourself now. Kolento figured that out quickly. And yeah, he goes still for like a lot of 1/1s. But I think Trunks had to do the attack there, because otherwise Kolento could punish him by ignoring.
That's fair. You are correct on that. You know, it's just little things like that, those little semantics that, you know, these players have to always be thinking about. Just little things always like that. And you see right here, just going to go ahead and use that last charge here to that minion. This is a decent level up, but it's not that strong quite yet. But Kolento might do it just to have to respect this Houndmaster Shaw. I mean, does he ever just ignore it?
I don't think you can ignore it. I think you level up, kill the Shaw and Corridor Creeper even though it looks horrible. But I just don't see a world where you can afford to disrespect Houndmaster Shaw like that.
Yeah, don't put disrespect on Shaw's name. That's for sure.
Don't you just lose to Cube if you ignore it?
I think you lose to quite a bit if you ignore it.
Okay.
That card is terrifyingly powerful.
Yeah, this is not a good spot for Kolento, actually. I mean, it's a decent spot, but not fantastic.
I mean, being able to get that Corridor Creeper down does make it look a little better. Not much, but it does make it look a little better. I mean, maybe Kolento feels as if, you know, he needs to get more value out of this level up and decides to go for a Hero Power plus the Corridor Creeper. It looks like that's what he's going to go for.
He's ignoring the Shaw. Bold play from Kolento.
I kind of like it. I mean, I think in order to win this game that he's going to need more value out of that because he's going to run out of steam very quickly if he uses the coin. Ooh, another candle shot. Don't think that's quite the play just yet.
The Grizzly isn't fantastic, but I still think it's good enough because it protects the Shaw. It's only a 3/6 though. But then Kolento would need to like... Nah, level up doesn't do it. Grizzly having the rush trades really nicely, and then Kolento has to overkill 2 minions. 2 3/5s.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the Grizzly here.
And just kill 2 1/1s, yeah. The play that Kolento went for didn't allow him to... Oh! Okay. Can you wait one more turn? Or is that pushing your luck?
I think this is really risky now because Kolento is going to be terrified of Cube Playdead. Because although he does clear up the Grizzly, if you cube play dead a Shaw, it's probably it's not worse than the Grizzly, but it's definitely really bad for Kolento.
I don't think
So
he plays
Kolento's-
around it. Because, like, think about it. If Trunks had cube, he would have cubed there over
He would have
Grizzly.
cubed. Yes, I agree.
So, you don't play around it. You just put 1-2, 1-2, and 1-1 into 3-5. Face tank the 3-2. Hero power and corridor creeper. You have exactly 7 minions, and next time you can go for hero power coin level up into Vine Cleaver. This looks really good for Kolento, and I think that's the realistically only follow up to the aggressive play he made last turn.
I think so as well. I agree. I think it's a very strong play. He's already playing to that out earlier, as we saw him, just kind of disrespect the Shaw just a turn ago. So I really like this from Kolento.
Yeah. So maybe
He
the
may
turn...
be. I think he's holding on to the corridor creeper to play around Mossy Har.
Okay, but... okay. Okay, caster vision again. Sorry. Like, it looks so good to have like 7 minions and like not care about anything.
But that's definitely why he's holding on to it. Is 4 Mossy Har.
And he put the one dude into the show so that he can coin Vine Cleaver in case there is Mossy Horror or Rexxar. So Kolento did the play that I suggested, but without knowing opponent's hand. He just played it like the safest way he could have. And I totally respect that. I mean, putting one dude into show really feels bad because you overkill it. Actually, you don't overkill it. You only overkill it with Vine Cleaver. Anyways. Here he has a pretty good level up, but I think he's gonna go Vine Cleaver.
Yeah, I think Kolento's already committed to this Vine Cleaver here. Question is, finally respects that Shaw. I agree with that.
Kill it for sure. Because if the 5-4 takes any trade, you pick it up with a 3-3 buffed dude. And if he doesn't, you just pick it up with Vine Cleaver. So you're good either way.
Ooh, Spider Bomb. That is not a Mossy Har and or Deathstalker Rexxar. Can clean up 3 of these recruits. Trunks is going to be very wary of the level up. Doesn't want to lose to that card on the spot. But, I mean, having the Vine Cleaver up, having that hero power next turn, this level up is looking like it might just seal the deal.
Pretty much, yeah.
What do you think Trunks has to have here just to try and keep himself in?
So you go Zeliax. I guess Zeliax hero power top the Katrina into Grizzly into Cube, but even that is probably not good enough. But you
Yeah,
have
that's
to
a
go
pretty
Zeliax.
far stretch. I think you have to go Zelix as well.
Wow. Wait, no, if you do that, you always Hunter's Mark. You don't care about the extra 2 damage. Why didn't he kill the... Like, okay, maybe not kill the Corridor Creeper, but at least Hunter's Mark it to not allow your opponent to get the value trade. Like, what else are you gonna Hunter's Mark? And does 2 damage really matter?
Maybe it does. Maybe Trunks feels that the only way he kind of has a chance this game through a level up is some kind of weird burst potential. I'm not sure. I don't think that's quite the case. Deathstalker Rexxar just got picked up, though. Could go ahead and Hunter's Mark. I mean, he can Hunter's Mark one of the minions, Deathstalker Rexxar, then build a beast next turn. Or he could just go ahead and build a beast now, maybe get the Bloatbat. It's a possibility.
Yeah, I think it's better to build 2 beasts.
I think so as well, to increase the chances.
Crackling?
Yeah, I think it... Oh, it's so hard to say. I think you need something cheap. You think Crackling was the first take for Trunks there?
Yeah.
I mean, Trunks is also still at a decent life total. I mean, he's gonna be taking a lot of damage. Oh,
That's pretty good.
that's a lot of good.
Do you attack with the Divine Cleaver or just like just hero power?
I don't think you
Arceus.
need to swing the Vine Cleaver. I think you can just hero power Arceus and level up, push it all face.
Like, Kolento is now gonna calculate if he can kill his opponent over 2 turns without having to use the level up. Or maybe even over 3 turns without having to use the level up, just so he can keep it in case Trunks has Bloodbath out of the Rexxar. But if level up can win you the game next turn, maybe you just go for it.
Well, even if he has Bloatbat, the Bloatbat wouldn't deal enough damage to kill all of the minions.
I mean, it can be like Bloodbath and Poisonous, I don't know, there are ways.
That's fair. It could be the Bloatbat poisonous with taunt. You are correct on that.
Like, I think it's fine to do this, and then just
That's
level up
fair.
and win next turn.
This is a bit weaker to Bloatbat charge.
Yeah. But it's giving you a safety net.
Yeah, I'm a little curious as to that. I might have rather liked to have seen the level up there, but Cave Hydra, Vicious Scale Hide. I think that was the pick for both of them. I was really thinking on this, though. That's strong.
Strong enough. Maybe to buy one more turn. So you heal for all of them, right? So you go to full health. And then there's like 6 damage on Kolento's board, 10 with Vine Cleaver, 20 with Accurus. Actually, he's not full health. Close. Ooh, that's a card.
Ooh, Stormwind Champion.
I mean, you could go Stormwind Champion Hero Power and just trade like the 4-2. And you still probably have
That's a
Lethal
line
next
of
turn.
play.
I think you have Lethal next turn, I'm not sure exactly. I need to count it.
You would want to place it in a way that you can try and play around maybe potentially a second Cave Hydra.
So in the middle? Like play it now on the right and then Hero Power afterwards? Or like how exactly would you play it?
You can play it on the far right in order to make sure that, you know, Cave Hydra would have to go into the Stonehill Defender. And if it has to go in the Stonehill Defender on the far left, it would only clear off one of the tokens.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, looks like he's going to maximize the level up, though.
Okay.
I'm a little...
He probably got tired of
Curious.
like waiting with the level up around.
I'm curious what the Stonehill Defender hit did. No, I'm really curious on that Stonehill Defender hit. What was the reason for putting the Stonehill Defender into the... Did you think it was going to die?
I don't know actually. This game is like, it's hard to like be able to read every single decision and figure out if it's like something intentional or not.
I was thinking maybe he thinks it dies to an effect, and he wants it to die just in case so he could play the Stormwind Champion.
Okay.
That's where my thought process is. But
But if nothing dies, you have lethal anyways.
I don't know about that one. There must have been something that Kolento was thinking on. Kolento might have just thought that it died, to be honest.
This should be lethal, right?
You go ahead and play the Stormwind Champion.
Yeah, it's
23. Trade one in.
23.
Then you go ahead and Raid Leader, yep. Pretty sure Kolento sees it.
So this means we go to Hunter Mirror match. to decide
Ooh.
who is going to win. And this can be another reverse sweep for Team Europe.
That would be insane. That would be absolutely bonkers.
So you were saying that Dev Rattle Hunter is favored against the Subject 9 Hunter, right?
I think so. I don't have much experience in that testing, like that matchup, but it seems to me that, you know, the Subject 9 Hunter isn't quite as fast. So I definitely think it makes sense that the Death Rattle Hunter kind of gets onto the board and has these sticky minions that the Subject 9 Hunter wouldn't be able to answer. Sorry, I lost of words there. I think my dog was barking in the background.
Is he enjoying the series as much as you?
I think that she is loving the series right now. She's really a big Kolento fan. She's really rooting for Kolento right now. Really excited to see this reverse sweep.
Trunks seems a bit anxious. I'm not sure how good I am at reading faces. But, yeah. So maybe the strategy that you were saying, that just going for the better matchups first and keeping the worst one for last, is better against most people just because of the momentum and the pressure that is at 2-2 compared to 2-0.
Yeah, I definitely think momentum is a huge swing. I'm definitely a momentum-based gamer. I feel like if I'm doing well and things are kind of going in, just a very positive way, that it makes sense that you just want to keep that momentum. It also kind of puts your opponent on the back foot, where they're thinking, like, maybe if they even accepted that they had lost that series, they're still thinking, like, oh, dang it, like, I lost this one. Oh, dang it, I lost again. Like, I can't lose this one. And it puts them on the back foot as well.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you go into Game 5 knowing that you have, let's say, Paladin versus the Odd Hunter, don't you feel better than Hunter Mirror match? That's the counterpoint.
That's true. I think it's all in the mentality of the person, because some players might say that as, you're right, you would have the better matchup last, and that does kind of be reassuring. It is kind of reassuring, but it's also kind of reassuring to think that, like, I started off down 2-0 and now I'm tied it back up, and I can do it. Like, I've built up, this tension. It's also better for the viewers, I think. Just kind of see that that snowball-y of this one person was up 2-0 and can he complete the reverse sweep? We're gonna find out.
We are indeed. Spellstone, I think, is one of the key cards in this matchup. Do you keep... Yeah, I was gonna ask if you keep the bad secret just because it buffs your Spellstone. Apparently Kolento doesn't want to.
I would highly consider it, but Explosive Trap is pretty abysmal in this matchup. I don't think there's much that it really does. But right now, Kolento doesn't even have a single secret to try and help with the Spellstone. But Trunks is looking at an awkward hand himself.
I'm wondering, as Kolento, maybe coining Animal Companion. Okay, not now. But if you wouldn't have drawn anything, I think Companion was like a better play than Crackling Pass.
Yeah, I like the Companion as well. You can go Companion, maybe get a Huffer or a Misha, just something pretty powerful, and then commit to the Razor Maw on the next turn. I think Razor Maw, though it can be played as a 2-drop, it's much more beneficial, especially in this matchup, to play it with some kind of added buff.
It sure is. And Spider Bomb, it's not that bad. Spell's on a bit too late.
Still going to be good for
You
refill
don't want
later on.
Huffer.
Yeah, Huffer would have been pretty bad there, as Huffer is never bad, don't get me wrong, but he would not have been welcomed there, as it would have been allowed Trunks to clear off both of Kolento's minions there and proccing the secret.
Well, Kolento could have taken the trade, and then it's just like free drop for free drop.
That's true, but that's not not what you want to be doing as well.
It's not a worse thing. There's
That's
worse
fair.
things. Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just so ingrained that Huffer has to go face that it didn't register that he could trade.
Yeah, they should make Huffer with like the opposite of Rush. Like you're forced to only go face. You cannot attack into minions.
Supercharge.
So if somebody from Blizzard is watching and needs idea for new mechanics, make supercharge a thing.
So what happens if there's a taunt minion though? How can you implement supercharge?
You just cannot attack at all. Like it's either face or not at all.
I like this idea. Someone needs to get us on the design team.
Exactly what the game needed. Supercharge.
Yeah, we didn't need rush. We needed supercharge. I'm going phase, realizing that it is not wandering monster. It's not explosive, so I'm gonna have a read that it's going to be
snakes or
snake or venom strike.
Snakes or snake.
Yeah, snakes or snakes. And that Grizzly normally puts in a lot of work, especially into the Spellstone. They have to trade 1-for-1 with it, because it does soak up a majority of the wolves.
What's the best way to go through it though? Do you Houndmaster? It's a bit awkward.
You could go for Crackling Razormaw Weapon. It's the most mana efficient, and if you hit +1/+1, it's an answer. If you hit
Poisonous.
If you hit Poisonous, is an answer. If you hit Wind Fury, you can push one of the minions' face for 6. Trying to think if there's any other, strong possibilities. I guess +3 health technically keeps it alive.
Free attack and free health is pretty much the same thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one lets you keep 2 more minions around. So I like the 3 attack. We're even gonna trade. Gonna respect the spider bone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't respect it, they can Ziliax onto it, and then it's really punishing, because they have both effects in one card.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. That's definitely something that Kolento was thinking about there when he took the trade.
Also, it's good to bomb to kill one of your minions after you got to already attack with them, so you kind of control the outcome. Whereas if you let him attack, he could just attack into the 3-2, takes a good trade, takes a big minion down. You don't want to let your opponent dictate the tempo ever. Or you want to let him dictate the tempo the least amount you can. Well, this looks pretty bad for Trunks. I don't know.
Surprised, do you think Rexxar there was ever, just a valid play overall? I kind of like the look of Rexxar there. I mean, it's not the most powerful Rexxar. It allows you to start building beasts, and I think that's, like, the main way you win this matchup.
The cannon shot is gonna be really nice. He could have used it now, but then he would enable the Venom Strike, and I don't know if he wanted to do that.
That is true. I'm curious as to maybe he should have equipped it. That way he could go Hunter's Mark, Rexxar next turn, and still have the candle shot in order to answer the wolf as well.
Yeah, that works too. What about this play? Was it never Houndmaster and just push a lot of damage face and Rat Trap? Or do you want to clear deck? Another Wandering.
Kolento's really racing for something here, playing that Subject 9 and trying to, make sure that he is getting through. I mean, do you think he's looking for the Rexxar right now?
I think he's just looking for a way to secure his board. That's pretty much it. Talking about Rexxar, Trunks' Rexxar is pretty good here.
Yeah, Rexxar is really strong here. Can even clean up the Emperor Cobra or the Wolf who chooses to do so. Would not be surprised to see that.
He killed a Cobra, right, to play on Hunmaster.
I think so as well, yes.
Like, 1 more damage. Actually, I don't know. Because
Actually, yeah, this is close.
Even if he Hunmasters, he can flanking strike it. Yeah, maybe you just kill the free one. Never mind. Kill the free one.
Oh my god. Right, dude, that was aggressive.
Hmm?
Really thinking long and hard on this decision. I mean, it is
Yes!
important. Oh, he listened to
Yes!
you, Radu.
See, I was like the evil voice in his head. This is such a weird game. Like, Kolento has the Spellstone, but I don't know if he wants to go for it this early. I think he wants to go Hornmaster to try to punish. So I guess you go Hornmaster and the Secret. If you Secret, what do you Secret? Snake Trap? Sure. Wait, he Spellstones.
I think it's Kolento. I think it's Kolento here. You definitely have to, you know, put some kind of pressure on the board. Yeah, he went for the Snake Trap there, probably expecting, you know, that the swing has to come in. Candle shot. If the candle shot swing comes in, it puts more pressure onto the board with those 1/1s because, you know, the only thing that really punishes that is the Mossy Horror from his end.
This will pop the Snake Trap, so it was like a very nice pick from Kolento. There's no more AoE other than Mossy, I think. And Mossying this is not even that fantastic. Huh.
Yeah, I really like that from Kolento, getting those Snake Trap on the board. It just also, you know, kind of helps clean up anything that Trunks could have potentially played that turn. There is double Houndmaster from the side. Could just put the Houndmaster onto these snakes and push all of it face. Now has picked up that kill command. There's also merit for flanking strike. There's a couple different potential lines of play here.
I think it's either flanking strike and then Hunmaster, or it's Hunmastering the free freeze and going face with everything. But flanking strike Hunmaster seems to be like the most stats over 2 turns, and pretty much always gets you lethal, while not giving your opponent any chance for a comeback. But again, double Hunmaster is also pretty sweet because the free freeze is most likely not gonna do much. Okay, Kolento
Looks
goes for
like
like a different
Kolento
line.
sees something else here. Wants to fit in a hero power, I'm guessing, with making this play.
So is this more damage?
I don't believe so, because if double Houndmaster were to be committed, it would effectively push a hero power's worth of damage. With committing the freezing trap, I wouldn't be surprised to see a trade come out. Because you really want to hit that freezing trap onto something much more impactful than the wolf. Maybe Kolento has a read that the King Crush is in the hand.
Yeah, maybe he's afraid of the Bloodbath. Like, probably this play is like the best to play on the Bloodbath. Again, like, I need to get used to casting because by seeing both hands, I kind of like can tell very easily what I think is the strongest play, but obviously as a player you don't have access to this kind of information, so you're trying to play around things. And as Kolento, it makes a lot of sense to want to play around some Bloodbath charge shenanigan. And the best way to do that is putting the freezing trap and taking the trade. And then the most the best way to get most damage in is Houndmaster. So I guess he was always going to freezing trap. He was just debating if he wants to play Houndmaster or flanking strike to go. So I really like the line Kolento went for.
Yeah, I really like it as well. Kolento, one of those players that's just playing to, you know, every potential out that Trunks could have, recognizing that, you know, he can afford to play around these very obscure outs that Trunks could just generate with his hero power. Still a pretty strong play from Kolento, allowing him to push through 9 damage and effectively almost ending this game.
Yeah, I don't think there's even any zombies that can do it. Maybe like Bloodbath, Poisonous Taunt. Yeah, that's the only saving grace, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here of what else, you know, he could create. Could create something large with lifesteal and taunt potentially. There is the Cave Hydra, but we can see that as Freezing Trap. I mean, maybe that was something else that Kolento was playing around, was the Cave Hydra charge that we can see Trunks even creates.
I mean, you play on
Kolento.
every charger. You don't particularly
Yes.
think of one, but by playing the Freezing Trap and defending it, you play on every charger. And you know that they cannot play 2 chargers because they played older zombies, and the other chargers are too expensive to be able to fit them in a zombie's turn. So yeah, this was very nice. And Trunks probably will go for the boar. He's thinking between boar and Stegodon.
I mean, maybe he has a read that it's freezing.
Maybe. If he does, Stegodon is the play. But... okay, he goes for Stegodon. Interesting. This keeps him in the game. So Kolento should track.
I believe Kolento could find something to end this game. There are no Hunter's Mark, so it can't be Hunter's Mark. If it is, say, a kill command, I don't believe that's... is that enough? If you kill command the minion and then Houndmaster...
It is. It's 9 damage. So Kolento goes for the reverse sweep. Completes it.
That's impressive. That is the... what is it, the 4th time a European player has reverse swept?
And the 7 out of 7 time a European player won in the first starting match against China. This is very good result from Europe. And the last European player, who is going to be the last match of today, is Bunny Hopper. What do you think? Is he going to put it 8-0 or is it going to be 7-1?
See, I feel like it's more pressure on Bunny Hopper to make it 8-0 than it is to try and win that car. I think that's a lot more pressure on his shoulders right there. Because you definitely don't want to be the only European to get knocked down on the first round.
Yeah. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still like only the opening matches. Tomorrow we're gonna have the winner matches. Then in 2 days the loser matches. And then the decider matches. So China can still come back from this situation. The unfortunate thing for the Chinese players is that 3 of them are guaranteed eliminated, and if Bunny Hopper also wins, 4 of them are guaranteed eliminated. So that's gonna be like a pretty harsh thing. So yeah, was a pretty long series.